Hey, welcome back everybody to the Cult Classic Podcast. Cameron Jones here, as always with my co-host,
Mark Nussle.
Jordan Jones.
We've kept it pretty suspenseful. We've kept it thrillery for you, the lead up to fall here. We're not quite in spooky season yet, but we're doing a soft open for you right now.
And I think we're giving you good summertime to back to school movies. There's a theme here. There's something behind the madness.
It's all connected somehow. Much like these movies, there's something tying it all together in the end. We're doing a teen sci-fi thriller, the 1998 film, The Faculty. Outcast Casey Connor suspects that something out of this world is going on at his high school. With the help of some new friends, this ragtag group of kids are the last hope in saving the world from an alien invasion.
The Faculty is the Breakfast Club meets the Invasions of the Body Snatchers meets The Thing.
Yeah, this is much like some of the other movies we're doing. This is just a modernization of a classic thing. It's a pod people, it's a body snatcher thing.
From the guy who brought you Sin City, Spy Kids, and Once Upon a Time in Mexico.
Robert Rodriguez.
Guaranteed to jack you up. Starring Elijah Wood, Josh Hartnett, Jordana Brewster.
Featuring Jon Stewart.
Usher.
If Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer are the Beatles and the Rolling Stones, this is like the Monkees, but who doesn't like...
Oh, I'd put it better at that. Jon
Okay.
Stewart. The students at Harrington High always suspected their teachers were from another planet. They were right.
Aliens are taking over the Earth. Weigh it. I don't even know what that means.
Wait. That is a
Weigh
weird
it.
one. The Faculty.
All right, cast and crew. This was directed by Robert Rodriguez. You will know his films by the titles of Sin City and...
That was a big one in a cinematic.
Spy Kids.
You should maybe start with Spy Kids, maybe get to Sin City.
I liked Spy Kids when it came out when I was a kid.
Yeah, it's true.
That was my age group.
Broke out with Desperado and then From Dusk Till Dawn, right?
Which, funny enough, I've tried watching twice this month, and I keep falling asleep at the beginning, and maybe by the end of this month I'll get there.
It's not his fault. When do you start the movie?
Late. I mean, it is a go-to-bed movie. It's just something
There
that I'm
you
like,
go.
maybe I'll get into this.
It tucked you in. It did what you wanted.
Let's see. The score is composed by Marco Beltrami, who also did teen horror slasher film Scream, as well as Mimic.
And the main thing I can think of is, I guess that's more of a sound design thing, but that like shit noise, that's not so much music.
Also written by the guy who did Scream, Kevin Williamson.
And it's a clever script. I saw just like a throwaway that they actually wrote this before Scream, but the success from Scream led them to get this being made.
I think that two guys wrote the story and then they gave it to the Scream screenwriter to punch it up and make it a fucking not hit. Well, box office success.
I'd say it's somewhat memorable.
It was a box office success. I think it got panned by critics. Guys, can we shut off our phones? Just
That's my bad.
just,
Yeah, that's
anytime. Just right now.
Let's see. Starring Elijah Wood, he plays Casey Connor, sort of the I'm gonna say helpless sort of protagonist.
You're here. You're.
They call him the
You're right,
protagonist, but I don't feel like he is. I feel like he's just one in the fold. It's an
I mean, it
ensemble
ends with
piece.
him though. It's somewhat from his point of view.
Yeah, it starts with him and ends with him. This is obviously just before he breaks, globally with Lord of the Rings.
Still looking pretty young. I mean,
Well, this is his transition movie from I'm not a kid actor anymore, which he obviously started off with.
Huck Finn.
Shout out to Huck Finn, who doesn't love it.
Go
I
for the
know I
glory,
do.
Huck.
Go for the glory. And then,
Deep Impact.
Oh yeah,
I forget that.
That has to be before this, I think, a little bit, right?
Right,
I think so.
Right in the same.
98, yeah,
97 at most. Probably started the same year. You know what I mean?
It's come up a bunch, and I haven't seen it in years. I'm gonna watch Deep Impact this week too.
I'm never gonna watch it, but I will watch Armageddon.
I've seen it a bunch.
He's Frodo Baggins. I mean, I can't get that. It's like
it's
Daniel
Frodo Baggins.
Radcliffe.
Yeah, we all know who Elijah Wood is now. The show Wilfred on FX was kind of fun.
I liked that for a little bit there.
Yeah.
Iowa
He
boy,
was-
Cedar Rapids boy.
Cedar Rapids born, and he admits it. He's like, I was
he does
born
talk
and
about it.
sort of raised there.
Josh Hartnett plays Zeke.
Pearl Harbor favorite. I mean, hands down for me.
Oh, he's Elijah Wood's also in Sin City as well as
Oh
Josh Hartnett.
Robert Rodriguez, shout out, and then I'll get to her, but yeah, Josh Hartnett seems like he's in 7 movies that I know, but it's just this and Pearl Harbor,
Yep.
and 40 Days and 40 Nights.
And
That I
we
don't
used to live in this neighborhood.
Is he in Wicker Park?
Wicker Park.
I've
It's Wicker
never
Park.
seen Wicker Park.
It
Now,
is underwhelming.
Not great.
I remember we were so jazzed to watch that when we were living in the neighborhood, and it was like, okay,
Oh no.
not what we thought it was gonna.
Turns out it's just better to watch Transformers and the whole downtown get blown up. It's not our neighborhood, but
High fidelity.
hey, it's the tower going down.
I heard he got burnt out by being a Hollywood heartthrob, gave up acting for a while, and then came back. What's that TV show he's in? Peaky Blinders? Not that
Oh
one,
yeah,
but whatever.
Okay.
Nicole watched it for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, my girlfriend watched it. I know what you're talking about.
Jordana Brewster plays Delilah. Mia Toretto.
Yeah, I was about to say. I mean,
That's all I noticed, from
She's
her.
Fast and Furious.
Fast and Furious.
She's been in a lot of stuff, but that's it. Yeah. Family.
That's better.
Salma Hayek plays the nurse.
Really, honestly, she is saying starring Salma Hayek, but she's barely in this movie.
I thought it was weird that she's in this, but she got her film start in Desperado with Robert Rodriguez, the director, and then
As
from
we talk
Dusk
about a
Till
lot,
Dawn.
companies just
Yeah.
you keep companies together, which is always nice.
Yep. Let's see. Moving down the list here, Famke Janssen plays Miss Burke.
X-Men, you would know her from being the Phoenix and that.
Yep.
She's also a Bond girl.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, sure is.
John Stewart plays Professor Furlong.
Go
We
back and
touched on
listen to our Big Daddy
Go back to
episode.
Big Daddy. This year we're doing all the John Stewart
Go
movies.
back and listen to our Half Baked, and I think this is a trifecta.
Did we put Half Baked out
Not
ever?
about half.
I know we recorded it at
That's
least
one of our
once.
very first
Oh, well,
episodes.
go back and look for that. And
Have we
cringeworthy
put it
episode.
out yet?
Who knows?
I don't know. But if we did, that's the trifecta. We've done all those movies. We thought we'd get all John Stewart's in. Probably somebody out there is like, I fucking knew you guys would.
I have a confession. Ursher also is in the movie.
Oh, nice. Usher is. I believe this is his first
Plays
movie,
Gabe.
right?
Yeah, it is.
This might be
Feature
his
film
only money.
featuring Usher.
This is my confession.
Robert Patrick plays Coach Willis.
Obviously, the Terminator, and I don't know
He's
what
the
else
T-1000.
he's in other than maybe him just.
He's got
doing
that cameo
Terminator.
in Wayne's World.
He's got
which is
Wayne's
I was
World.
about to say Terminator cameos.
Yeah.
I bet he's in more than you realize. But yeah, those. I mean, he's obviously in Wayne's World and Terminator 2, T-1000.
Just watched it recently.
you
We're going to do it
seen
for the podcast.
Have you
This-
seen this boy?
Stokes is Clea DuVall.
I can't
I don't
even
really-
think of what movie exactly, but I know she's in a bunch of
Every
movies.
time I see her, I'm like, Faculty.
But I know
So this is what I draw her
I know
to.
I know her from other things in the 90s.
So she's in Argo, and she's all that.
Oh, Argo. Yeah, she is in that. She's all okay. Yeah. Those both make sense. Yep, there they are.
Let's see. Stan plays. Shawn Hatosy plays Stan Rosato. I know him from Southland.
was about to say-
I was into that show for a little bit.
Not cop show.
You're gonna know him if you're. This is a Jones Family classic. He's from the Kevin Kline film In and Out. He's
Oh.
like the jock.
No shit. I almost started that last night. Everything we're talking about is something I've been either watching or wanting to this month.
In a similar role, he's got a unique voice to be in movies.
True.
BB Newworth plays the principal Valerie Drake.
Familiar face. What do I know her from? I don't know. If
Jumanji.
You're gonna know her as the
Jumanji,
Aunt in
yeah.
Jumanji, which I just caught the other day right before I watched this, and me and Megs were watching this movie. She's like, "That's the Aunt from Jumanji." I'm like, "What? There's an Aunt?" I'm like, "Oh yeah."
Yeah, I
Sure
forgot
is.
about her.
Yeah.
She was also in Cheers. Had a role in Cheers. She's a dancer though. She was on Broadway. She won 2
Nice.
Tonys, 2 Emmys. She was she won Best Actress for Chicago.
So the Faculty is not the highlight of her career.
It would not seem so.
I wouldn't think so. And then let's see.
But she's only an Emmy,
There's
a
a-
Grammy,
a
and an
sneak-
Oscar
there's a
away
little-
from me. Got
Christopher McDonald's in there. Shooter McGavin. He plays Casey's dad.
He's almost always playing the dad if he's not playing Shooter McGavin-like characters. If
But-
he's not playing a dick. He's just your kind of stepdad guy.
he is
I do
often
like him.
playing kind of a dick though. Like,
Yeah.
this dad's even though something a little off and dickish about him.
Yeah, I get that vibe. I see what you mean.
Not in 61 though. He's
And
the
now
nuts
about that. Go
Last
back and see
few
our episode of
characters
61.
I didn't really know, so I won't touch on them for too long. But Laura Harris plays Marybeth.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
if she
looked
went
her
on to do
up.
anything
This
else.
seems to be her main thing.
Mrs. Olsen, I didn't really remember her from much. Piper Laurie, and Daniel von Bargen plays Mr. Tate, the drunk teacher.
He does seem familiar.
He does seem very familiar. Oh, he was on Malcolm in the Middle. He was the he was the teacher with the hook
okay,
and the
then yeah,
patch.
that's probably it.
That's about it for cast, though. It is a big cast.
It was, but way to get through that pretty quickly.
I think the most notable thing to mention is that it's got a pretty, for teenage movies, people that acted after this teenage movie, which doesn't always happen. Like,
True.
most of them obviously character actors, and then Elijah Wood, whatever you want to call him, I don't know, the star. And then really talented production side of it. Director, screenwriter, the score. They all went on to have extensive careers up until now. I mean, 20 years later. So it's pretty cool.
So that's kind of why this movie, I think, does hold up, even though it is a little bit tiny under the radar, just because, I mean, it's a 90s teen horror movie, so, I mean, it can be forgotten.
First watch for me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
So we'll go into
Moving on to
Unverified.
Welcome to 1998 Cult Classics Movie Phone. Also in theaters currently with the faculty, you could have seen Kiki's Delivery Service, Patch Adams, Mighty Joe Young, You've Got Mail.
Ooh, I like Mighty Joe.
Yeah, right.
Fuck it.
Or Prince of Egypt. Plus, a few more, but those were also in theaters at the same time. So welcome to 1998, everybody, and welcome to the Faculty Unverified. What do you guys got?
It's Christmas Day, December 25th, 1998. Do I see the faculty or Patch Adams? I don't know.
I see Patch Adams. It's Christmas.
I think
that's
so.
pretty sad. Though. No, never mind. I'm thinking Jack. Well, that's still pretty sad,
I think
though.
Patch Adams is sadder, right?
Yeah, they're both non-uppers. But then again, I don't know.
I don't have a lot here. It's just a couple film debuts. Jordana Brewster, Usher, we already talked about.
Yeah, this one actually didn't have a ton of facts. There was actually one...
I do remember from being alive at that time, I feel like MTV was pushing that Usher was in a movie a lot to me.
Well, there was a lot of that.
Was
plus,
it this one?
Well, yeah, it was this one. They're like, Usher's in the faculty. I've got a fun one that goes along with the marketing of this movie. Mm-hmm. It was advertised and they were sponsoring. They were only pretty much wearing Tommy Hilfiger clothes, which if you remember, you guys were a little bit younger, so you might have been in your Jinko phase. Tommy Hilfiger was huge here. You might pair it with a nice FUBU shirt if you could, jersey. But they only wear, I think, Tommy Hilfiger. So they'd shot like advertisements for magazines and commercials.
There was also a music video that was on the soundtrack for this that a few of them featured in. There was a few product placements. A lot of this was with the marketing that was weird, like just commercial placements that they were put in. Signed on
I think that's
contracts.
pretty par for the course for teenage movies. But there was not an overt like Mountain Dew or Pepsi, which I was definitely on the radar for.
Oh, never mind. It was just the Tommy. Yeah, it was that thing. I was like, there was something. It was like, it was that. Everyone's wearing the same thing. Yeah. There is one kind of huge fact that's just kind of crazy. It was on this set that Elijah Wood first got put on the radar of Lord of the Rings being put out. It was Harry J. Knowles that got wind that Peter Jackson was making it, and he urged him to try out for it, even though Elijah had never read the book. And he took his advice, and he just started pursuing it, and eventually read the book, but got it because of that. Just a hint and a tip he got while filming this movie.
Cool.
He was one of the teachers. He's the big redheaded teacher that you don't see beyond the
we see that
first
guy.
Faculty room.
That guy is stocking water in the background all fucking movie. I know who he is. He's doing work. Not everybody's a star player, but yeah.
Just a little bit off that too. It seems like that Elijah Wood videotaped his own audition just because I think they wanted to cast mostly British actors. So he's like, well, I'm just gonna make my own fate here.
And little did he know that he was going to adopt a British accent for the foreseeable future.
He's got what we call like a Northern Atlantic. It's not quite British and it's definitely not American.
It's
but
who's
very
the redhead? Julianne Moore from The Big Lebowski.
Oh yeah. I thought you were going all the way back to Katharine Hepburn, whatever she does.
Well, there you go too. Yeah. There's you got a little bit of yeah. You guys know what we're talking about. I only have one other fact, and this one's kind of funny. Original title, The Feelers.
I don't mind it.
I don't like it. The Faculty is so much better, even though it's really the whole town, and it starts with them though.
You guys may
the Teacher's Lounge.
Yeah, something could have been better, but
all I know is
The Feelers.
Well,
The Feelers. Come on, what?
Okay, I'll get to that.
I think scary movies and sometimes bands. It's good to be the blank, for like horror movies or genre.
We've had those. We were the Falfas for a while.
That's what I'm saying.
The Innocent Criminals.
Would it have been as good if it was just
Innocent Criminal? I think we might have.
That was like little fourth graders though.
How do you feel dropping the and just going Faculty? I like the.
Also, some people just force it on us too. I think we were Rumor Has It in high school, and we were performing for some little town festival.
The Rumor Has It band.
Yeah, and like this local news broadcasters that kept calling us the Rumor Has It band.
The Rumor Has It.
Yeah, that made me feel.
Oneater.
This isn't that.
That's Onetters.
this isn't that crazy, I don't think, for just filming a movie in general, but it was done at a high school in Lockhart, Texas, and the actual football team was used, and the city was just told to show up to the football game, and we're just given fake T-shirts for the movie.
Ah, nice.
Just to...
Weirdly though, I
don't
felt
think that's
like
that crazy, but
there is like one shot when they're driving away. I'm like, this kind of seems more like Texas than Ohio. It was like, it seems dry, and I feel like I could kind of.
I was looking for that, but I didn't catch it.
I was looking at some of the trademarks that Robert Rodriguez kind of does, and it says frequently sets his films in Texas. Mm-hmm. I guess headshots are a thing in his films too. He has a lot of
There are some things he
headshots.
definitely did. I know there's some homages they took from The Thing, the walking head, when the teacher's head comes off. That's an homage to The Thing.
It was a mixture of Invasion of the Body Snatchers and The Thing were the two things they said they pulled most of the
inspiration from. It says here, a huge fan of John Carpenter, Rodriguez will often make reference to his films in his own film. For example, the drug test scene in The Faculty to see who's an alien is a direct reference to the blood test scene in The Thing.
Which we may do someday.
We should, because I really do like that movie. It's good.
Could it be good for Halloween?
Maybe. It's set in the Arctic. It's snowy, so it's hard to make it Halloween-y. Yeah. It'd be good for this time next year, leading up, maybe.
Nice.
Okay. We'll put that one in the pocket. That's all I had. Do you guys have anything else?
It was a light one, which is weird for a movie like this with lots of people. Jon Stewart's in it, I guess.
And you would expect that would have had a bunch of MTV behind the scenes things that you know what? We assume then that you listeners out there might know something. If you remember any fun facts or just know something, please write in on social media on the movie poster. You can DM us or whatever. Let us know some facts about The Faculty. Let's move on to questions,
comments,
animosities. So if we want to start with the beginning of movies, which I know you guys like to do during this category.
Chronological.
We've got to go to the very beginning of this movie, the introduction to the characters. Elijah Wood's character is like a nerd that gets picked on, right?
Right.
But we got to talk about him getting racked on the flagpole to being dangerous.
Aggressively. Well, really just no one's paying attention. I mean, the teachers are pretty checked out at the school that I do have as a note later that I kind of like. They're either alcoholics or super timid. There's an accident and an open fight like on that day of school that no one is intervening. Students, faculty, anybody.
It's very violent there. There's a domestic abuse couple just walking through the hallways, which is somebody's sister. It's Joaquin Phoenix's and River Phoenix's sister. She plays that role. Anyway, I thought that it would be such a hyper-violence place because of the aliens, but it's not. Just seems like this is unrelated to all the sci-fi going
And if you guys noticed, like while we're just kind of talking about the school right here, did you notice how run down and like the paint is now trashy? It is like, what's
like a
wrong
trashy school?
with
A lot of drug use, like
this is Ohio. Where are they? Like just outside of like Cleveland?
I was actually getting Deary, the fictitious town of Deary, Stephen King's Deary or Derry. Sorry, Derry.
Isn't that like Massachusetts, Maine?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Okay. Well, either way,
it was just a lot more violent than I remember at the beginning.
They're going to the school from Back to the Future in like the Bozo Biff world when it's like really run down. That's like the high school they're going to. It's crazy. Let me take it back even further.
Alternative 1985.
Do you know what I love to just really set the mood? You have rock music playing on the soundtrack, and the shoulder pads look like they weigh as much as me. The football outfits really set the tone of where we are, and I love it.
Yeah, like if you don't remember, kids, go back. That's how big football pads really were. In fact, when we all played football as kids, you wanted to get the biggest pads to look.
The bigger the better.
The bigger the better.
And I was already like 6'1", getting those huge pads, but I had just like chicken legs, so I was this tiny, like weird little V going on. But
I would roll with no reason to just a cowboy collar or neck roll.
Yeah, neck roll.
Gotta look like a thing.
Even on just the fashion, like I'm trying to bring back the short sleeve shirts with the long sleeve shirt under it.
Oh, dude, I've
been
been
trying to bring that back.
I've been about that for a minute. I'm also trying to bring back Dickies long shorts that are shants. I'm gonna bring that back. The Blink-182 style. You'll see.
Are you sure you're not talking about like the Cholo style?
I'll show you.
I don't think it went away like a lowrider.
We'll see how people take it. We'll see how people interpret what I'm doing.
Didn't you bring up FUBU eearlier?
Yeah, that was in though, right? I mean, at the time, for sure. Yeah. I mean, go back, check the catalogs.
So, comment animosity. This is at the beginning because we kind of really do jump right in the movie to the body snatching, which I do like. But when the coach is first just kind of being weird to the principal, he's putting off some drunk, sexual, aggressive vibes. But she is just so cavalier and just brushed aside, like, "Hey, coach, you've been having a little bit to drink." Like, you're the principal. He's the coach. He's not even like a real great teacher. He's a PE teacher on the job.
Man, I miss the 90s.
Yes, wow. She just is not doing her job.
I actually want to bring that up as a whole point. It is Like, bullying is out in the open. Sexual assault, harassment is just like, hey, why don't you just sleep it off, coach? Like, there's a whole lot of bad things, and I just want to, like, show people we've come a long way because these were jokes at the time.
Even
like,
after
this
he
was
almost
comic
killed
relief.
her, she was just like, oh, you prick.
Yeah.
And she was just going to go home and, like, come back the next day and work.
Everything's
like,
totally fine.
This has happened before, clearly.
Oh,
What
yeah,
were you
this
going to
is
mention about the racking? Did you like that? Did you not like that? What did you think about the tactic?
I mean, it was effective. I guess he got real racked. But I'm just saying, I think
Didn't he
they
say
would have...
something as he was getting about to? He's like, that's a pole.
I just think that he would have broke his pelvic.
Yeah,
like it would have been bad.
That's like medieval torture.
And we're not even talking about, and you're not going to remember this unless you just watched the movie like us, but I don't give a shit. He just got in passing elbowed in the nose. Just like somebody just walked past him and
It was
elbowed
like four pallbearers, like with a door jam or what do you call those? They try to break in the door, like a door ramming.
like a ramrod type, like
yeah.
a ram, like a ramming.
Sieging ram or something.
I guess I'm not for it, but I just think he would have been not there for the whole movie because he would have been dealing with the broken pelvic bone.
Something pretty severe.
Just forgot about that for sure.
So this is an animosity. I would never take anything from a drug dealer, especially a second-year senior that says, it's my, what's the exact quote here? It's my own recipe. Guaranteed to...
Jack me off. I mean up.
Sorry, Jack you up.
I would never take... And also, let's just talk about the recipe. It turns out to be just mostly caffeine and a diuretic. Why is everyone giggling so much from caffeine? And
why would he have a diuretic in it?
Caffeine is just a diuretic. I think he's
Got to cut it with something.
You do have to cut it with something.
Or he is just being
better
a
profits,
dick.
Jordan.
I mean,
It's true. Are you saying though? Sorry, why would you take that while they're doing it to prove that we're not alien scene?
no, I'm saying in general, as those high schoolers at the beginning, I would never take a drug that's homemade by a second-year senior.
Fucking what's his
Yeah,
face
you
from
would.
Well, I wouldn't
that
take any-
70s show?
Not now
Yeah.
as a 34-year-old. Yeah.
What's his name?
I don't know, the guy with the fro.
Yeah.
Do you
Starts
know?
with an H, doesn't it?
Do you know who his counterpart was? If they're Jay and Silent Bob, it was the kid that plays Mitch from.
Oh!
Go back
didn't
and
he
check it
not
out.
go-
Shut up.
I swear, Megan called it
Dooney
out. We
did
looked it
way
up.
better because he wasn't touching his fucking nose. Go back and see our episode. I hate it.
Cameron
Love
hates Mitch.
love the movie. Hate him. Hate Mitch.
Mitch from Dazed and Confused is the counterpart in this Cheech and Chong situation. No, right now as an adult, you would not take that, but as a sophomore in high school, you'd be like, "Do you have any of that magic dust? Did you make it at home?" 'Cause
Also,
I'd
just
love that.
just
No.
a hollow pen, and they're just ripping this hit. They're just like taking a whole like
I did.
rail of this thing. Like
I did agree with that during the scene where they all.
savor it a little bit or something. I don't know. Like just take a little bump.
Well,
These
I
guys are
actually
getting
just thought
loaded
there's
at
no
school.
way they could sniff a whole pen load at once, but they all take it down like everybody's just been sniffing.
Well, I guess maybe that's it. Maybe it's just if you sniff that much of any powder, it's probably not good for your brain for the next 30
We
minutes.
could crush up some Smarties and we could do it as a little social experiment.
Yeah, there are those kids in school that were being edgy and snorting Smarties and stupid shit and crushed up Pixie. Well, Pixie Sticks are crushed anyway, but that's just sugar.
Yeah, it was basically a pixie stick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Caffeine pills. Although, if you go back, caffeine pills were a lot bigger deal when we were kids.
Saved by the Bell.
Check out Saved by the
I'm
Bell.
so excited. I can't.
I mean, it was just, it was just a bigger deal back then.
Like I get it that we're in the mindset that this is a scary movie, but I hate it. You can't be touching that new creature so much, especially Jon Stewart just reaching a hand in there.
Can't be doing that.
Look at how spindly it looks like a
you not seen the
non-touchable
jellyfish?
thing. Yeah, I mean, just don't touch anything.
You
with
don't
that.
touch something that multiplies right in front of you.
No, and those tentacly things, anything that has like grabby things, nah, you don't mess with that.
He got what was coming to him.
True.
How do we think about Jon Stewart's role?
Funny
portrayal.
enough, I was funny enough looking at his acting because I know there's effects, but like when he's going like, oh, and like gonna do the like slug in your ear thing, and I'm thinking how kind of funny it is knowing how regal and just stoic Jon Stewart is now. Just imagining him acting without any sound effects and just having to do that. But I don't know.
It was, I don't know. It was neither here nor there for me. It was just
It's fun.
If I were to rank his 3 roles, this is number 2. I'd say he's playing himself more in
Big Daddy.
Big Daddy.
Yeah.
And he's really bad in Half Baked.
Well, he's high, Jordan.
I know,
Yeah,
but it's pretty bad.
yeah, it is.
I think he found the right.
Also, kind of animosity. Okay, so these are like pod aliens. I imagine, are hive-like because the queen dies, so they can connect to each other. Like Jon Stewart could have played that a lot differently. Instead of being like initially be like attacking these people and being overpowered, why not just like send in more people or like get these kids separated? No one believed Elijah Wood at that point until Jon Stewart took things to 11, like it's a fucking Edgar Wright movie, and just fight scene breaks out.
Because we needed to know.
True.
Well, it seemed like each
how's
like
we know?
infection like sort of was like different. Like sometimes when someone would get bit, like they would show symptoms right away, whereas Jon Stewart kind of just got bit on the finger and then was like, fine.
Or was it the bite, or was it just later he just keeps poking his damn fingers in the tank and
I think it's the bite.
He probably pulled out one of those, I don't know, amphibian ones, and he's like, maybe I'll just put this in my ear and see what happens. I mean, we're not going to get it over to the university until tomorrow.
Yeah,
I'll just check in my ear.
We know he's a bad scientist. He just immediately dumps it in the water, and even the kids are like, "Won't you drown?" He's like, "Maybe."
I hate that term, by the way. I'm going to university.
Yeah.
I fucking hate that.
Well, I mean, we know for our foreign listeners that there are other ways of saying it, but we don't say that.
you.
We don't say that.
Well, I actually, then if we're getting on that, love the title, love that they keep calling it the faculty, but we just called them teachers or the teachers lounge.
The teachers lounge.
It was not the faculty lounge, and they're Midwestern, and we grew up only a few states away. I assume that in Ohio they're not calling it the faculty.
Is it soda? Is it pop? I don't know. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Soda pop. Technically, it's both.
No, it's pop. Pop in these
cola.
neck of the woods. Cola's down south, right? Is that what they do?
Yeah, well, you say Coke if you're from Georgia or from Atlanta.
I'll take a Coke Sprite.
Take a Coke. What kind do you want? Sprite.
An 8-ball.
Guaranteed two.
Jack, you
There you go.
comment. I feel like it's pretty easy to tell who the aliens are. They become a little sexually harassing and aggressive.
They get a new style too.
True. You're either hot and you put your hair in a bun, or you do the opposite.
Yeah, but they're also a little more understanding as well.
Very the coach. I mean,
Yeah.
they are a lot more chill.
I did think that the aliens' huge pitch is like Utopia essentially. Doesn't kind of seem like
A good idea. Yeah.
no, like missionaries. It's like, we get it, you're Christian, but we don't want it. You know, like if we wanted it, we would have found you.
Well, here's listeners. It's a good thing if someone's giving you all the answers. It's a cult, one way or another. It's that person's lying to you.
Oh,
Do you have time for me to talk to you about a parasitic utopia?
I mean, it is noon on a Wednesday, and I answered my door. Probably I have time, but the desire is just not there.
Sorry, guys. Try next door.
Here's a dead. Just if you're coming up in a 10-speed and a white collar shirt, we're good. Okay, I do have an overall question.
Right.
Why? And this is like overarching. This isn't in like any chronological order. But if the queen is there, she's infiltrated herself with the teenagers. Why would she actually be on site? If she's the host of everybody, why wouldn't she like hide away and keep herself safe?
Oh
just
yeah,
in
that's a
general?
pretty big flaw.
That's like a big flaw for me in this movie.
I mean, because even expanding on that, why wouldn't she just at some point when they're all just chilling in the garage and their guard is down, turn into that giant octopus thing and quickly kill everybody? Just blah, 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 blah. Oh,
Right, they had a whole football team at the end. Like it seemed like it would be pretty easy to overpower just a few teenagers.
Well, yeah, no, she's like a super powerful beast, but even at that point, Delilah has already been turned, and
She was already that. She was like she was with the group for
she knows where they're at. So again, if the queen dies and they all die, I'm assuming they can communicate some way. Like, why wouldn't they just send like 60 people to storm that garage and just take him zombie style?
yeah,
Like,
zombie style.
Yeah,
many
had the
times.
numbers.
Yeah, many times throughout the movie, especially the end when they just are locked in the gymnasium. There's no other way to break into that school than those.
Well,
one
they
front
were
doors.
surrounded by like your zombie situation.
Again, first time watcher, I thought it was just going to be zombie and
Oh,
like
No,
Can
they're
I
very
just-
respectful of entrances and exits. If the door's locked, they'll just wait.
Yeah.
They'll wait.
They don't seem like they're into destruction, though.
No, they're keeping it when they're done. I mean, they want it.
Yeah.
They want the infrastructure.
With all body snatcher situation, do we just, when we have enough, we get to go back to our alien form? Or do we stay in
that'd
the
be
body?
Yeah, this body thing's
you want to be comfy.
No,
Seems
no.
like it'd be uncomfy to be a
Yeah, it's like
a
wearing
naked
dress
woman.
clothes. Like when you get home, you're unbuttoning
Yeah.
the pants.
I
You're
think
letting it
it-
like
First
me
thing
out.
comes off is the bra.
Nah,
That's true.
it's more of a car because these are they're land bodies. So I mean, like they'll just like dip these in the lake and just dump me on the shore, and they'll come back for me when they
They're
need
kind of
me.
like Mogwai in that sense that you can't. I mean, maybe you shouldn't feed them after midnight either. I don't know.
We don't know.
Definitely
We don't know.
not. It did not seem like they wanted to eat us, though, right? Just inhabit our everything.
They did kill. They did. Well, there's a few interesting things here. Because one, it seems like if the kids killed people who were infested with the alien parasite, they could just regenerate and be fine. But if they pour a little powder on them, they completely disintegrate. So, like, it honestly would have been better if they would have stopped the whole drug
We're getting
thing.
back to the powder.
So I have some big
Well,
questions
it-
about this in general.
It would have been
okay?
more beneficial, though, in the end, if they would have not gone with the powder thing and just viciously tried to kill everybody. Because in the end, they don't know this, but everyone would have been fine. They just had to kill the queen.
Well, I wonder that. If you get killed while you're inhabited by these parasites, after you kill the queen, are you still just fine? Because did you guys stay to the end credits? Did you watch all the way? I did stay to the end credits. I urge you to watch them.
Or
like they go through.
Very end?
Well, not like watch. Like right at the end of the movie, they start showing people's pictures and who played them.
I like that credit style, by the way.
Okay, did you see it?
Yeah.
Jon Stewart was there with an eye patch and no fingers, so he didn't just regenerate. So does that mean if you took an injury, you were injured? Is that unrelated?
Because the principal's dead, and they do mention that there were deaths of like teachers.
Oh, the principal did die then.
Yeah, because if you listen to the very end, well, then she got the powder poured on her, and she just melted.
But I think he's talking about just powder without
powder. Powder kills
powder
you
aside.
if you kill the parasite.
Then you're fine.
Then
but
you're
Jon
dead.
Stewart got powder of the eye.
Yeah, but he was alive at the end.
That's a flaw. Because
And then I also have this: the teacher that lost her head, Josh Hartnett's like counterpoint, who I guess they date after this is all said and done.
Yeah, there's some
whatever. I guess.
Well, he's like 19.
Yeah. Okay. Actually,
the 90s, man.
It was the 90s. It was cool then. Now it's bad. I guess. I don't know. It's bad.
Cherry
it's
flavored.
bad. Oh yeah, there's a little flirting there. Anyway, her head was decapitated.
Yep. And
then are we just saying she's one of the green ribbon chick? From the scary stories you tell in the dark, just keep it tied, keep it tight.
Okay, so Elijah Wood at the end, when the slugs just immediately came off of him, there was a much slower disintegration process for some of those other people because it seems like she was an entire octopus body on the inside.
I said this as a quote to Megs. You know that part in The Simpsons when they go into Mr. Burns' body and like they explode and he goes, "Oh, that hurt like hell."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh my god, that is kind of just like he took it like a champ," but it's like. The Elijah Wood's character. Ooh, that was like hell.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
God, I imagine that had to be. So just inconsistencies with when you're dealing with alien stuff. Some make it, some don't.
And he just had the right combination of speed that took down the aliens. Is that?
Yeah, those bleachers. When that alien's going through, it would tear apart the infrastructure that makes those clothes. If it's strong enough to tear apart those mechanics. It can probably just, not be deterred by some slow. Well, one, those are going
insanely
far too fast.
That's actually one of few things I wrote down. When the bleachers close in on the alien, they're the
we need to take a look at
fastest
those.
We've all seen bleachers close.
I will say, though,
like snap, snap, snap. It's like a slow, long process.
I will say, though, if you looked at the engineering, it looked like old equipment, and we know the school is a piece of shit. So maybe Elijah Wood's like, "Oh, those have killed people before. This could kill that thing."
We've lost a few people. Oh, can I don't know. Who wants to go next? I just feel like
What the fuck's going on with Josh Hartnett's hair?
He doesn't have parents.
That
he
shit
cuts it
pissed me
himself.
off the whole time. It just made me uncomfy.
But did it work a little bit?
Yeah,
I've been cutting my hair.
It worked for me.
It worked really well.
It worked not. It was pretty good.
It was pretty good hair for what he did. I mean, I've been cutting my own hair for quite some time myself, and
yeah, it looks like a Mennonite type haircut, homeschooled, but it's working.
Well, we also know he has money. He's dealing drugs at a bunch of things in the parking lot, so like he can get a haircut.
It definitely wasn't in at that time, but he kind of had that hair in a few movies.
Well, it's the burnout, I don't care hair of like, oh, there might be a chunk missing, whatever. I sell caffeine pens.
He sold so much more. It looked like he was selling
porn,
prophylactics. He just went because it was 18. He's like, I can buy this.
He's a little older.
I'm 19. I can buy these and I'll sell them to you.
Yeah, that's the racket. That's what you do when your parents just leave you
alone. Josh Hartnett is he's got aspects to me of like Keanu Reeves. Is he a great actor? No. But does he have something that you like? Yes.
There's some sort of on-screen charisma that he is enticing, despite the fact that some of the line delivery is interesting or bad.
Yeah, it's like him, I guess, to some extent, Paul Walker. Now I'm just getting into my recasting. I'll just shut the fuck up.
I just watched Constantine, but that might be a good Halloween one we could have done. God, I've watched it actually twice recently, too. But
well,
it's a
I
good
guess
one.
it'd be good for you to suggest it. What do we think about Usher? Did okay? Did enough?
Did fine. I mean,
fine.
Not a lot of lines. He's essentially probably not long after high school, just playing a high school student. He's pretty young.
Yeah, he might have actually been in, like, around that time.
Yeah, so, natural. Felt good.
During the football scenes, right when it started, I looked at Megan. I go, watch to see the biggest hits you're ever going to see in football games. But then...
They're super strong aliens.
The first tackle was just a normal tackle, but then people started like stepping on landmines and blowing up and stuff.
Tear off his head, and then the clothesline.
And then they did, yeah.
You had a helicopter hitting there.
Oh,
yeah.
sure.
We'll remember the Titans helicopter.
So, okay, you've realized that your drug stash is gone, but then that Josh Hartnett already knows that it's the diuretic of the caffeine pills that's doing this.
Just get more diuretics.
Well, yeah, before they go to the school, why wouldn't you just go to Walmart, it might not be taken over yet, and clear out the diuretic section and then just, I don't know, coat myself with it, get like a spray bottle, like just coat yourself with diuretics.
And it seems like you didn't have to like snort a whole penful. You could kind of just like
share a little bit.
We don't know, like you don't have to snort it for me to tell. Like I'm just gonna sprinkle some on you.
Just get a handful of cornstarch and throw it in people's eyes and see what happens.
Yeah.
And they also reacted like they took PCP, right? Not
Yeah,
caffeine pills.
Caffeine.
Hey, he's fucking tweaking. Just let him tweak.
Let him tweak. We don't know what he's doing with all those spindly lab things. He could just be essentially.
What the fuck was going on there? He had a meth lab in his basement.
Let's just assume he's taking caffeine pills and turning it into meth. He's very smart.
That was much more than just making, like, all I feel like he did was crush up caffeine pills with
He
something.
also does make.
Zeke, what the fuck is all this
we had
shit?
beakers. We had beakers.
Tools.
Is he
I
cooking?
sell meth. I also make
I
meth.
do sell meth.
This
Yeah.
has nothing. I just crush up caffeine and put it in
It is
the pens.
guaranteed to jack up your teeth. It's meth.
You guys want some?
Meth. Ooh, meth. Round trip, how long were they at his house?
Couple hours, an hour.
Just an hour.
Not long.
Not too bad.
No.
Peer pressure, though. I'll tell you what. You take that.
That is a bitch. 90s. The 90s.
One understandable, but I'm pretty sure taking like Elijah Wood takes 2 to 3 penfuls. He definitely takes 2. Like if it's a diuretic, like he's just gonna be shitting his pants the whole end of the movie. Like he's gonna be running around. Like when he falls in the pool or Stokes or whoever, there's gonna be a streak behind him.
Yeah, he shit his pants. But, you know, he also has probably a deviated rectum, whatever. Like,
Or
he's
just-
got problems anyway from that
locked him up,
flagpole.
just
From the pole.
Everything's solidified in there. He's constipated for weeks.
That's true. Yeah, that could very well be. I don't know what caffeine does to you. It really affected Jesse Spano, though, we know.
True.
This is, I haven't seen this movie for a while, actually.
Been a while.
I saw it as a kid for sure. But at the end, I forgot how quickly everybody became aliens. I thought there were, and it's just like off-screen aliens.
The football game. When they get the
I know
cops,
the-
it spreads pretty quick.
Oh,
and then
no,
it gets
no,
the
no. I'm
town.
sorry. I'm talking about the main crew.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
everybody drops like flies in the last 5 minutes. I'm like, when did that happen? Did I miss it? And like, yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Everybody missed it. It's
Everyone's
off
true.
screen.
Well, even Zeke's-
anytime you didn't see him, aliens.
Well, even when Zeke's pressuring Elijah Wood, he's like, I'm gone for 5 minutes and everyone's a freaking alien. So, you know.
There's a lot of bad dialogue in here, but it's still pretty funny. Even for a teenage movie, some of it's bad. Like they're really aggressive in compared to other movies.
I just have to pause real quick. There's a guy going on in the background in an old-timey bike with a big wheel, and it was really distracting. The
Oh,
whole
yeah.
time.
Like big front wheel, small back. Are you still see it?
He's still in the
Right there, right there.
Yeah, it was really distracting the whole time Jordan was talking.
Might be made of wood.
Hold the fucking phone here.
Sorry, what were you saying? I was totally distracted by that guy.
I don't know. It was poignant, and it was probably the best thing I said in this goddamn podcast. Go back, listen to it in the editing. I think I said I was surprised how everybody. Bad dialogue, aggressive. I thought it'd be surprisingly more homophobic, and it is.
I don't think it takes itself. It doesn't take itself too seriously. It's a little tongue in cheek, like.
I think that's what I like better.
Like many of the ones we've been doing, they kind of lean into the fact that they are like, we are doing a body snatcher. So the fact that they have some of those lines, like some of the lines are like pop culture kind of smart, where it's like winking, looking in, like
it's got
very
some
squeamish, honestly.
Screaming this, and the same screenwriter also did I Know What You Did Last Summer, but that one to me
Feels a
isn't
little-
as good.
That's 98 Degrees. This one's still like, this is an NSYNC Backstreet Boys. It's still mainstream.
Do you agree? Or this is what I think. I think this one is better than. It's not as good as Scream. Scream's like
No, not at all. But
completely
it's good.
good.
I like. I know what you did a little better.
Ooh, you did. Do you think it's because you saw it when you were a kid?
And
there's nostalgia?
Probably.
Got to lean in a bit.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
Final
that's probably
Destination
most
is
of it,
behind
but
all of these, though.
It's a little less sci-fi, and I know what you did. I guess.
I get you. Just not
like,
sci-fi. I'm actually not the biggest sci-fi person, but
I'm a
this one
pretty big
worked for
sci-fi
me.
guy. I am a little bit of a nerd.
I could be in the minority here, but there's a lot of good ways to consume water, and I think the water cooler water cone
Not the
is
way
a
to
top.
do it.
I love a good water cone because you need like 20 of those things to get.
Yeah, that's
quench
why
your
they've been
thirst.
sitting there
Not
all day.
efficient. Not efficient, that is for sure.
I did think about the whole.
You see them at golf courses a lot.
What's that?
A water
that's
cone.
true.
Oh yeah, dentist.
Because they don't want you to. They don't want you to like sit them and like reuse them, or just because they want you to throw them away.
Get rid of it. The coach is pretty suspicious, just standing in the field with the water on. That's one way. That's one way to do it.
Zooms in on him. He's just.
The problem with that actor in general is he seems like every movie he's in, he's the T-1000.
Yeah.
I guess that's. Hey, we want a T-1000 type, and they get him.
True.
But he's bringing some heat and some awkwardness, and
Well, actually, this is fun. I was going to ask this like initially. It's hard to remember when you're first viewing, but Mark, since you did just watch it, did you have who did you think was the queen leading up to it? This is a bit of a whodunit. Did you have any suspicion or guesses?
I actually it caught me. It gave me a good surprise at the end. I didn't expect her, to be honest.
I do remember vaguely thinking it was the principal.
I thought it was the principal. I went like real surface level. I didn't read too much into it.
I didn't think it was any of the kids.
You know it's not the coach because he gets taken.
I thought for a second it could have been Mrs. Olsen because she was also in and out from the beginning. So I was like, maybe it's Mrs. Olsen. We haven't really heard much from her throughout the whole movie.
The movie starts with the coach being like getting infected, so we know it's not him.
It's not him.
Even though they do kind of try to make you think that still a little bit.
So I guess I didn't know. I remember as a kid it caught me off guard. I'm like, but she sniffed the stuff. She sniffed the stuff.
Yeah, that is hard to get past. They just do a little tomfoolery to throw us off.
Oh, so with her though, because I have
something you can watch back and see that she does.
No, I can now, and you can tell the big things she does. One, when they're deliberating, it's like who it is when the kids are. I think Zeke. No, it must not be Zeke. I think the quarterback points out Stan. You're new here, Marybeth. And
very true.
He called out everything that makes sense that it would be her. She won't take the drugs at all. She's like, I'm allergic. And then when they have the stash and she kills
I'm Portuguese.
The principals. Yeah. Is she really Portuguese? I couldn't tell if that was a joke, a weird one, or
that was a dumb joke.
I think she actually was Portuguese. I don't know. I wondered that myself.
I think she's from Portugal.
Marybeth dumps all the drugs on her, so I thought that was a key giveaway.
True.
And then she's...
Oh, right. Yeah. Cool. I mean, so it would have sucked if they didn't give you any sort of like foreshadowing or like
there's enough foreshadowing that it is her.
And she is weird and
from the
questioning and like interrogating like each person kind of. So she is a little weird.
Did it seem like she liked them though? I think she did.
Maybe. No, she's like, I need to get these outliers.
It seems like it would have been super easy to get.
Seems like it's a hands-off queen, like you're saying, hide and send someone else. Send the coach just to knock him out, grab him, drag him, go, then just take him.
Yeah, or just let it run its course, or just you know what? Maybe we don't need everybody to be a parasite. Just murder him. Just shoot him, kill him, murder him.
The queen should have used the host, the nurse's body as the host. I feel like she could have gotten some, just the ear exams just done herself.
Yeah, that would have been. Well, I mean, they did get her, but yeah, maybe just be that one.
Just be that instead of just the teenager. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. So did she just take over somebody that was like Marybeth is a real person? It's a body.
I think so.
Where'd we get that?
Atlanta. She landed in Atlanta and then she just
I gotta fly into Atlanta.
Walked it.
Just walked to
Or
Atlanta?
she just T1000 did and just kept switching bodies and then just got there.
We got a spaceship somewhere?
Oh, maybe that's just it. Maybe she just took a body, flew there.
Where's the spaceship from? Okay, whatever. Yeah. Oh, I do have one question.
There's going to be something weird about that.
This is my question about all alien movies after the fact.
Okay, shoot.
We now know these exist, some form of them. Why are we so casual at the end? Why are we just back to business as normal? I get Elijah Wood. He's like, I'm popular now. I don't give a fuck about anything. But everybody else should be like, red flag, red flag, red flag.
Yeah, that is an animosity to me. That it seems like it should have ended with some sort of cover-up where he's like, well, I guess I'm still a geek and no one knows I'm a hero. But
the story hasn't spread everywhere. Maybe we're still trying to figure out if it's hero or hoax.
Well, it does say that in the headlines, but the fact that there's so much there's no foul play for multiple dead bodies at the school too.
There's an ongoing investigation.
I'm not even talking about like nationally or globally, but these 6 people that witnessed everything are like, whatever, we still got a senior year.
We should be on the lookout for these things. We should eradicate them. Everyone should carry diuretics on them.
Elijah was like, I always do.
I always have. I'm immune.
Out of all the storylines, I'm going to go to the Breakfast Club aspect of this movie. Mm-hmm. Josh Hartnett's the burnout. I don't think he's joining the football team.
No.
1, I don't think he's going to be good at all. 2,
you can't smoke on the field. You can't smoke.
The coach is like, hey, put out that bud and get back here. Even for the 90s, I don't believe that.
He did just save the world and his life. They killed a couple people. They could have killed him too. He survived.
So does everybody that was infected by the parasite remember it or no?
Yeah, they got it. Yeah, they have to. Because
Okay.
otherwise,
I don't know.
Otherwise,
I don't know
why would
that they do.
Why would there be the headlines? Why would everyone be going on with it? If they didn't remember, then it would be the cover. Like everyone has amnesia and like no one knows what we did. It'd be that. So everyone must. So there's your answer. Zeke gets to fuck a teacher. He gets to smoke on the field. Also, question: if you notice, it comes up to us like Zeke's like taking off his helmet. They just got done with the play, and he already has a cigarette.
It's already lit.
Yeah, like
Lit
down to the
cigarette.
butt. Like, did he just put that in his like face mask during the play?
I don't know
Oh
where
shit!
that
There's ash in my eye again. Zeke, damn it!
I don't know where that cigarette came from. One more thing. Oh, the trope of the quarterback is like, I just want to be. I'm like, well, just be the quarterback too. You can do both.
Hey, you can be an idiot and be a quarterback.
Also, that guy doesn't have a quarterback's body type.
No, he
I
doesn't.
don't
He seems
think
too
he's-
small. More of a fullback or a linebacker, maybe
Yeah.
for high school. I don't know.
I don't know. Anyway, why did the goth chick? Why do they always in these movies in the Breakfast Club? Why do they just change their outfits and like I'm regular now?
Because that's all it is, Jordan.
That's all it takes?
That's all it took. That and a little bit of a positive can-do
Thank
attitude.
God, now I don't have to wear so much mascara.
It's just now we can wake up like 20 minutes later. That's good. You know? Like my daily routine is cut in
Man,
half.
that grease I was putting in my hair really took a toll on my scalp.
Pretty greasy hair.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, she's not doing anything. That's the whole secret. She's just not bathing.
That's
Nice.
true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but now she has to think about what clothes to wear.
True. Now it's a lot more pressure. Way
Oh,
worse.
she probably put a lot of thought in her clothes. Do goth exist anymore, or do those disappear?
Yeah.
Hot Topic still exists. I mean, Jack Skellington is still a.
That's true. You're right.
Still a.
You're
You know
right.
what?
You're
I'll
right.
say even
Where
through,
Tim Burton makes movies, there's
Yeah.
there's.
you know what?
there's
I'll
still
say
out
this. Even through emo, even through scene, even through other like versions of that, I think goth has always just had its
Really persisted.
Yeah, had its own thing still of like
there. I'm really happy for him.
Yeah, me too.
Me too.
They'll stay on the fringe. They have their own place. Everybody met in the middle for My Chemical Romance, and then went their separate ways.
I mean, for more information, see that episode of South Park where the goth kids get pissed off that everyone's buying clothes on Hot Topic.
stuff. Yeah, that's true. They probably nailed it.
So this would be a turn, but just like if they were wrong about the whole queen thing, like, oh, it's not a bee thing, it's just parasites. These are all aliens, and we're all infested with parasites.
Yeah,
There is a spaceship.
Yep, and they're just infecting everybody.
There's more
Our bad.
coming.
Yeah, it's a pretty big gamble, and you know,
The diuretics is a big gamble.
everything was a gamble.
is a
There
huge
was
gamble.
nothing. Although Zeke does seem wise for all of them, you know, right? Why didn't he graduate high school? I don't know. He could have, I'm sure, or just quit. One of the two.
You know, making a point that he doesn't care that he could graduate.
Yeah,
through
if
the
it was,
summer.
if she was not the queen, which she's like,
He was
let
throwing
me-
out random facts, just like I can't even remember what it was. It was like, oh, was that a
I guess we all know smart burnouts. They exist. It's a real thing.
sea dwelling creature?
And then also, how quickly can you change from alien to naked teenager?
Instantly.
Just
I,
like
I
that.
am pissed about the size changes and just that you can't fit that much tentacle in that little body, and it's a little annoying.
Well, you know, whatever. Picked a real good
Tell
country.
me something, Marybeth. Why are you naked? That's a pretty big giveaway that she's the alien. See?
Yeah,
And,
and then also there's shadow tentacles everywhere.
Yeah,
Nowhere. I
from
don't know.
behind her.
I don't know what that's about, but you know,
this is kind of going back a bit, but we know that Stan's a D student, but he's a fucking idiot. He has to get about a foot away from the coach and the entire team looking with their faces to the sky to be like, you guys infected still or what? Like, you can see shit coming out of the coach's face, but like before it cuts away back to the school, it shows Stan's face come into frame. So like he got within 2 to 3 feet of the coach and the team standing in the field in the rain being pretty alien-y.
if you did notice though, Stan was the only one who didn't like figure it out on his own that something was going on. He
Yeah.
was just in the room at the time,
Yeah, that's true.
and he didn't ever help anything except he did get the gun moving around in the.
Well, he was pretty risky, actually. He was just pointing at people who were tweaking when he needed to let them tweak.
Yeah, he was. Oh, what if they were wrong? Is Zeke shot like 3 people?
Yeah.
Like he definitely, without much question, shot 3 people.
But again, it's when they actually viciously murder people, that's fine. It seems to incapacitate them, too. They should have gone around like this was a zombie thing, hacking people up, and then if they just would have gotten the queen, everyone would have lived.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. Yeah, the queen. It's the queen's fault. It was just so flippant or dumb or whatever.
What if her just be out in the open and hanging out with them?
No, well that first off, but then at the end, just like lie a little longer, and you probably would have been fine. I don't get it. Like, why did she?
Again,
she was just sick of it.
If she just would have turned into the octopus thing in that garage and just like, "Bloop, I'm flailing my arms right now, she would have crushed them all to death. All she had to do was be like, "Rah," and then like problem solved. She got the world.
I do want to go over Elijah Wood's character. What's his name?
Casey
I want
Connor.
to go over Casey. before I rewatched it, I thought he was really the hero of the movie, and he does make the final blow, but he in no way helps them along the way all that much, except being like, I think they're aliens.
He's super fast. He has speed. He's the decoy a couple times. He runs.
Zeke's really the brain behind the
it's
operation.
mostly Zeke. And Zeke doesn't get turned ever, right? He just gets knocked out.
No, just takes a hard blow.
Yeah, so, like, cool for Zeke.
And Delilah, where does she get turned? Is it just all the way at the beginning of the movie?
It's
the whole time?
It's something at school. She
When she wears the glasses?
She comes the next day with, like, glasses and the hair. I would say
By then already she's been got? Okay.
Yeah, probably. Because really she's the one trying to get all the outliers together with Casey. And she's the one that brings Stan and some of these people in. So it's kind of her.
Then if that is the case, she should have infected them all separately.
Yeah, or Marybeth, because she was there.
Just both of them.
Making out with Zeke, like she could have got him there.
Yeah, if Delilah made out with
He's full
Casey,
of diuretics. No, he doesn't take his own stash. We know this to be true. But he does do meth and heroin.
He does a lot. He does a lot.
Elijah Wood doesn't get fully infected, but those slug things still go into his face, under his skin, pretty deep. Like, you're not just okay after that. Like, those were wiggling around and loosening the skin off your meat and bone. That can't be good.
I mean, I'm gonna say this again, but like he's got like injuries top to bottom. The broken pelvis is number one over. They fell out of his face. He healed up pretty nice.
But he can't have kids.
No, he's done.
When he was screaming there, it sounds like for like Rick and Morty. It sounds like Morty's like,
yeah, it kind of does.
The only thing that's missing there is like 5 more minutes of him on the ground after that. Still be like, my face! Oh my god! They were in my face!
Yeah, this kind of does feel like a Rick and Morty episode, kind of, doesn't it?
That's all I have for this one. What else do you guys have? I mean, there are some questions and unbelievable things, but it's a teen thriller, alien sci-fi movie from '98. So, there's of course going to be some questions and things we're going to let slide because it's nostalgic and it's fun. Should we move on to recasting?
Another big cast.
Unfortunately. As always, you know what? Big cast. I'm not going to put pressure. Do who you can. What about Professor Furlong? That would be the Jon Stewart character. Did you guys have that?
Yeah, I went chalk. I just did Stephen Colbert.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
I was trying to think of someone like that, and I didn't think for very long because I just came up with Conan, and then I stopped.
Ooh, Conan would be fun.
But I have Jeff Goldblum there.
Oh, who doesn't like that?
I like your Colbert, though.
I did Bill Hader. He does a lot of... I mean, he has a serious side to him.
That'd actually be pretty good, too.
He can play just a serious character, but he can have a little fun in there like Jon Stewart.
Yeah, and Bill Hader is good in genre, even though I don't think he really does a lot of genres. Well, he did
the only reference I have is his own show where he's a little more serious, but...
That's true. And It.
Gabe. Let's do Gabe. Anybody do a Gabe? I want another artist. I did Ludacris.
I did Nelly. We all went for our...
Cameron?
I didn't touch it.
Quick.
It's his first one. I didn't want to touch it. I left him alone.
Let's do some of like the main teachers. Like, let's do the coach.
I had a few good ones, but I landed on Ray Liotta. He has harsh eyes. Ooh. I don't know how I could see him running, but he's similar build to this guy. Similar harsh looking fit. Not harsh, but just stern eyes.
I actually like that one.
Thank you.
Definitely immediately known as the bad guy.
Yeah.
Like, no question on it. Playing it way more intense than it needs to be. Even Shoeless Joe Jackson.
So is Coach.
So mine's not good, and I kind of went chalk. Will Patton, Coach Yotes from Remember the Titans.
Okay, I like him a lot.
I actually think he'd play this pretty well.
He's too nice almost.
Yeah.
No, he can play.
I've seen him play nice
You're
a
right.
lot.
It's just I'm thinking of that role in particular.
Yeah.
You better step away before you say something you're gonna regret.
Listen to that voice, though. There is some crazy behind it.
Yeah, that's true. Mark, who'd you have as coach?
I went James Tolkien.
I know the... Okay. I know
Top Gun, Back to the Future.
Oh, nice.
He plays the principal from Back to the Future. And
he's got some crazy in him.
I had some honorable mentions, but they were not good ones.
Principal Drake. Valerie Drake.
I've done her a lot, but I did Jennifer Connelly. Somewhat looks based, but she's also just
I did Jennifer Connelly.
Oh, nice.
My bottom line is looks based.
I've been trying to recast her a lot, though, so welcome to the club.
I feel bad now. I'm like, this seems okay.
I like her. Mark, who'd you have?
I'm also doing another frequently casted actress, Sin City. Any idea where I'm going here?
Jessica
Entourage.
Alba?
Nope.
Oh,
Carla Gugino.
Hey, man, you gotta have her.
The only reason I didn't do her is because
we did her last week.
Yeah,
and the week before, maybe.
If you're playing out there, take a drink.
Also, I hope she gets word that we're in support of her. Like, if there's any podcast...
Brendan Fraser, Keanu Reeves, Carla, we got your back.
We got your back. Thanks. Just don't do anything to embarrass us. Keep it above line, you know?
The last one I have for the teachers, did anyone do Miss Burke?
I did. I don't remember.
I did
an
Amanda...
older Hillary Swank.
Oh, that makes sense.
Funny enough, I was going to do Hillary Swank.
So hear me out.
What was that?
I did Amanda Pete, and it's very similar, actually. Well, I don't know. There must be something
Amanda
in
Pete
it.
works for me. I was going to do, who'd you say? I was going to do Hillary Swank for the principal, interesting enough, for some reason. But
that could work
somewhere in there. I did Demi Moore.
Oh, yeah.
This is right in her time still 90s. Attractive.
Tail end for sure. Would have been real big role. Well, actually, since her star was on the decline, it maybe could have worked.
Who'd you guys have as Delilah?
I did Mandy Moore.
Okay.
I did Jessica Alba.
Okay. I did see on Verified, there was actually a shit ton of casting What If, but it's everyone you could think of teen actors from this time.
Sure.
So like I did Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Okay.
Attractive,
so you just
that's good for the time.
And I think she might have also been up.
Well, she was in I Know What You Did last summer, right?
I feel like Emma Roberts could maybe play like the
I
bitchy...
definitely thought about
that.
for sure.
Yeah, but
that's what
she does. I mean, that's just the typecast.
That would have worked for sure.
Yeah.
What about Stan? Just keeping that couple together. And so did I, because I did Freddie Prinze Jr.
I have something very similar. I have a James Vanderbeek.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that works for me too.
Okay, so I thought about this, and mine was obviously recency bias because we just did this movie, but I'm like, who's a weird little guy that doesn't belong to be a quarterback? Shia LaBeouf. Weird. Yeah, he doesn't. He's not a quarterback.
If you took him like that weird age of like clearly like college, Transformers age, that kind of works for
Transformers.
me. Yeah, sure. He's definitely not a quarterback. I mean, honestly,
neither is this guy.
I mean, I don't want to ruin it, but that's your Casey right there.
Oh no,
that's classic Shia LaBeouf.
We got 3 Cases coming up.
Freddie Prinze Jr. You did
James Vanderbeek.
Oh, Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, interesting. I like him maybe as the lead, but I don't know about there. What'd you go for Zeke? Drug addict Zeke. Well, drug pusher Zeke.
I had twofold. None of them are inspiring. I'm sure somebody might jinx me. Who wants to go first?
Well, you already kind of spoiled your pick earlier.
Yeah, I spoiled it big twice. I agree both.
Jordan has Paul Walker.
No. Paul Walker I actually left out. I thought about it big
Paul
time.
Walker Stan. That's your doofus QB.
Yeah, if it's perfect. But he already existed in 3 movies just like that, so I stayed away from it.
Makes sense.
Having that said, I'm going to go chalk here. You could obviously do Heath Ledger.
Okay.
And Keanu Reeves. Young Keanu Reeves.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, those both work.
I didn't think you were going to go there.
Thanks.
You didn't spoil those earlier.
Oh.
You spoiled the Paul Walker. I thought you were going Paul Walker.
I thought about Paul Walker for Zeke, but it's just Varsity Blues.
That's Stan.
Sorry, Paul Walker for Stan. That's Varsity Blues.
Got it.
Hear me out. Mine's going to be a little interesting because you have to think about him current day and how he acts, but he's also just age-wise would have worked there. It's more of a Stan character.
I have no idea where you're going
But
there.
Chris Evans. He can kind of play like a moody, like witty, quick-talking guy, but he's a little too handsome. He's a little more of a Stan traditionally who it should be, but you put him in some grungy clothes and make
If we didn't do Knives Out, would that have come to your attention?
No. Maybe, because I was still thinking of teen actors around that time.
I just think sometimes I'm like, oh, fuck, we did a movie like three movies ago, and that's why I'm picking this guy.
I'll do a little bit of that.
I'm not saying you did that, but I do that a lot.
I just said Shia LaBeouf.
Unconsciously.
I think he has that in him. It's just he's a little too handsome man, but so is Josh Hartnett, so I don't know.
Well, this seems a little too idle hands-y.
I love it.
Okay, I like it. I could be
so Devin Sawa could easily be it, but I'm gonna go my second pick. I'm gonna go Ashton Kutcher.
Ooh,
okay, sure.
Yeah, that would
I
work
like
for
the
sure.
Sawa getting in there though. Nice.
I thought about the Sawa somewhere.
Could also be a Casey kind of. That could also work for a Casey for me.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's move up the line. Who do you guys got? Marybeth. Who do you guys have as Marybeth?
I'll go first.
Sure.
Kirsten Dunst.
I had Kirsten Dunst too.
Oh, interesting.
Okay,
I think you guys might like mine. Brittany Murphy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know about her accent work, but just. Yeah.
I also thought Reese Witherspoon.
I also have.
I thought about that
we all
too.
did. We all wrote it
We
down.
put her in the bubbly things too often, so I always try to avoid her. Stokely. Who do you guys have for Stokely?
I actually think this is my only good one.
Okay.
Kristen Stewart.
Oh.
She's so squinty. She's always leaning, just like Stokely's character.
Okay.
They might be the same actor.
Okay.
That's a good one.
I don't like Kristen Stewart's acting because she's always just shaking her head and doing that thing.
Did you see Stokely in this movie?
Yeah, I guess that kind of works. Hear me out.
She's the Mitch. She's Mitch.
Yeah, a little bit. But in life, I just don't like the way she moves and reacts. Is the problem. She could. Okay, mine could also be like the attractive hot girl because she played this too. But Neve Campbell. I mean, obviously Scream. We get that from there. But
yeah, you're right.
It's not just
I feel like I have 3 good ones, and I just need to reach into the hat and pick one.
Okay. Throw the first one at me, and we'll talk about the rest.
Yeah.
Mila Jovovich.
Okay. She's from Resident Evil. She's also from Dazed and Confused. No, that could kind of work for me. What else? Who are your other ones, though?
Allie Larder.
Okay. Allie Larder, you would know her for. She's blonde.
Final Destination.
Oh,
Isn't that her?
Yeah, Varsity Blues, too.
Oh, okay, yeah, like the cheerleader.
Or Julia Stiles. She can kind of play that, like...
It took me everything not to put Julia Stiles in this movie.
Leave her alone. She's trying to get out of acting, I think.
Yeah, well...
I'll pick Allie Larder. After all your reactions, I'll stick with the Allie Larder.
Okay, we'll go with that one. Who'd you guys have for Casey?
So, like, all I did was just 3 guys that are the same.
Yeah. And they're a group of friends, and they were part...
Oh, they're a group of friends?
I believe so.
Go ahead.
Maybe not. I did Tobey Maguire.
Okay, I did that as one.
I thought about that at the very end.
They can do the same...
It was after I picked Kirsten Dunst. I'm like, maybe Tobey Maguire.
Should have done it, because, I mean, they both just play the weird, awkward, nerdy guy.
I also did Daniel Radcliffe.
Okay. Do you know who you wouldn't like but would work there? Jake Gyllenhaal pretty much plays this nerdy, uncomfortable character well.
He did when he was younger.
Yeah, so this would actually be right up his alley then.
I guess the real argument we should be making is... Sorry.
Again, Shia LaBeouf, I think, he's problematic, but he would fit there.
Problematic, we understand.
Charlie Conway.
Oh, okay.
Joshua Jackson.
Ooh, I like
Mighty
that,
Ducks. Yeah. I like that. That
you
works for
may
me.
check him out. It's not a high school film, but it is in this genre. It's at college. It's an urban legend. That's definitely a forgotten one.
Ooh, yeah, we should do that maybe. That's actually a good one. That is a cult classic. It's good. It's at least...
Well, it's on par with these.
Yeah, it's at least 90s teen slasher.
We could do urban legend.
That's a good one. So nice they made 2.5.
Well, we don't count those. The big argument here is, and I thought this as I went through this role, Elijah Wood could have played Spider-Man at some point in his career.
Yeah.
It ended up being Frodo Baggins.
Him and Tobey Maguire, again, played the same roles.
But I don't think that Tobey Maguire could have been Frodo or a lot of things. Tobey Maguire's got dead eyes. Do I like Seabiscuit? Yes, I do.
Sure do. You talk about it a lot.
And Pleasantville.
Oh, I do like Pleasantville.
But it's not because of Tobey Maguire for either of those movies. But it's good in Pleasantville.
Anyway, Jeff Daniels.
And the color, and just a lot of things.
That wraps up the cast. Did you guys have... There was a lot of what ifs, but again... It was essentially anyone who was in She's All That, and it was all those teen movies around the time.
It was all the teen movies we could have counterpart changed from this.
Yeah, any of the slasher movies, any of the Screams, I know what you did last summers, they were all up for it, but they did those ones instead.
And also written by the same guy.
But we're going to move on to Mount Rushmore.
Top 4.
Mount Rushmore. Top 4.
Welcome back to Mount Rushmore Top 4. This week, we are doing our top 4 Elijah Wood movies. Favorite Elijah Woods. Mark, you're up this week. What's your favorite Elijah Wood?
All right, I'll kick us off. My pick is going to be Green Street Hooligans.
Ooh, interesting. That's high on my list, actually.
I was so close. What were you gonna pick that one too?
I was so close. That is it's so. Explain it for the viewers.
It's an interesting movie.
Yeah, I remember seeing it in high school for the first time, and I really like that movie.
It's about he's like a aspiring journalist, and he
takes like a gap year.
He goes to Europe. He joins a hooligan gang or just like a gang of soccer fans, and he gets into bar fights. That's pretty much the movie, but it's weird. It's likable. It's fun.
Yeah. Okay, who's next?
You can go, so I don't take your number 2 from you, but I think I know what it is.
Disney's 1993 The Adventures of Huck Finn.
Yep, that was going to be my next one. Can't go wrong. It's a go-to-bed movie. That's something I've seen maybe 100 times.
I wasn't going to take that from you.
Okay.
Well, yeah, I definitely wasn't going to take it too.
I wasn't going to snipe it from you.
But everybody agrees that's the best one.
It's the one I've seen the most.
It's not the best movie, but it's the one I watched the most and enjoyed. I love that movie.
Those were my top 2, so I guess I honestly think watchability wise,
Happy Feet.
I might just I'll get to that, but I might just go Lord of the Rings, give the people what they want. It's his big franchise one. It is very watchable, so
I've seen them all, but I'm pretty much I like the first one the most.
Second one's the best one. That's action packed.
Two Towers is the best, but
the best one.
That's how everybody feels. I just like let's set it up and I'm fine.
So you said you like the first one? The first one's great.
So having said that is our top 3. But now to fill out the list, what are some honorable mentions?
I'd have to put The Faculty on it myself.
The Faculty honestly maybe
for me personally, it would be. It might be my favorite.
Top 3, it is up there. Honestly, it's Huck Finn, Green Street Hooligans.
Yeah.
And that might be there. Obviously, we've brought it up. Deep Impact. It was the counter to Armageddon. That was like the comet asteroid movie that year.
Well, I'm not joking. I really did like this show. This was kind of before like streaming exploded, and you didn't get as many subversive, weird TV shows. Mm-hmm. But Wilfred, I watched it like all 3 seasons it was on FX. I liked the show.
It was where he could hear his dog talking. It was interesting. It was good. I did like it. I didn't follow it through.
Who's the dog?
It was an Australian actor.
He's an Australian comedian, I think, who created the
He was
character.
funny.
Yeah.
That show was funny.
Yeah. He had a little Chris Klein from
Oh, yeah. From American Pie.
American Pie.
Yes. Sin City, we also brought up, obviously, he's in that. He plays like a weird, creepy serial killer.
It's
but
too small of a role for me to, like, I get it, like he's in it.
I mean, he's a child actor, so he's been in a million things. The Good Son.
The movies we picked were, like, I would say Elijah Wood movies.
True, and like watchable. The Good Son is a notable one from his child acting days with Macaulay Culkin. That was a big one I remember watching.
The Good Son feels like, outside of Huck Finn, maybe one of his bigger. Obviously was in
Eternal Sunshine of the Spot.
I was going to say that too, but I always think just Jim Carrey, and I never think of him.
It's not really an Elijah Wood
Well,
movie
this one was big. I did see the Flipper with Paul Hogan. Like in the mid-90s.
That was big when we were kids.
Yeah.
This is an interesting one. The Bumblebee Flies Anyway. Not a great movie, but I've seen it a bunch because it was on HBO right when we got cable or when we got cable back or that HBO subscription. Don't remember. But caught that a bunch. Weird movie.
Anybody remember this movie?
9. Yeah, it was
9?
an animated thing from a few years ago.
Oh, yeah.
He was the main role, and he was 9 in that. So I only remember watching it once, and like I just don't remember it.
It was an interesting.
I feel
it was
like
weird.
people liked it, right?
Yeah, it was. It
critically liked it.
Yeah, I think it did well. Funny enough, I actually haven't seen all of it. I've seen a few scenes. Just I was like, "What is this?"
I feel like we watched it at the first house or some
yeah,
part of it or something.
We caught like a few minutes of it, but we never.
Okay,
finished
quick
it.
bonus Mount Rushmore, but just the top 2 before they finished it. Mm-hmm. Let's just rank 1, 2. We'll go around the circle. Josh Hartnett movies. Is it this? Or is it Pearl Harbor?
I'll tell you which one gets me closer to crying. Pearl Harbor.
Yeah, I think it is Pearl Harbor.
Yeah, it's Pearl Harbor for sure.
It's Wicker Park.
It's Wicker Park.
Ooh.
No, it's Pearl Harbor.
Somebody's seen 40 Days and 40 Nights here, but it's not been any
Recently.
Oh, really?
Not too recently, but within like 3 months, yeah. So again, Elijah Wood's been around forever. He's a child actor. There's a large history to go from. So let us know what you think of our top 4. Let us know what you think that our 4th filler answer should be. And tell us also ones you think you missed out on. Thanks for listening to our take on The Faculty. As always, if you like what you heard, make sure you like and subscribe on your favorite podcast app. We are a small grassroots podcast, so the only way we grow is through recommendation. So please, if you like what you heard and you think others, friends, family may as well, please recommend. Help us grow online. We have a community on social media. You can find us at Cult Classics Pod.
We do love receiving messages. We don't get a lot, but we do get a few, and we love responding to you guys. So
we don't have a huge community, but it is a very interactive one, and we do appreciate that. It's not, it's full of movie buffs. It's full of people that appreciate this, so it's always fun hearing your guys' facts and things that we miss. So please reach out on Cult Classics Pod. And as always, if you have a movie request, you can reach us at cultclassicspodcast@gmail.com. We're getting into the spooky season, so get ready for just creepier things on the horizons. We'll catch you next time. Bye.